You're listening to a Mint podcast brought to you by HT Smartcast.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your weekday newscast that brings you 5 major stories from the world of business. It's Friday, July 19th, 2024. My name is Nelson John. Let's get started.
Top of the Morning by Mint.
The Indian market's benchmark indices, Nifty and Sensex, increased during Thursday's trading. Sensex and Nifty both were up by 0.77%. IT giant Infosys was up 2.2% during yesterday's trading session. Investors expected a good earnings report, and Infosys delivered. The company's revenue for the first 3 months of FY 2025 increased by 3.3%. Jas Bardia writes that Infosys is now pulling in more money than ever from the financial services sector. It's made a total of 34 deals in the last 3 months, a record high. Infosys earnings from India-based companies also grew. Jas notes that this is a pattern among Indian IT companies, as their clients in the West continue to tighten their budgets. ASK Asset and Wealth Management Group handles assets worth more than 80,000 crore rupees. So when such an entity comments on the market, you take notice. Bharat Shah, a whole-time director of the group, doesn't think the market is overvalued. This is in contrast to a lot of other financial gurus who get startled seeing the price-to-earnings ratio multiples. Speaking to Dipali Sharma, Shah said that today's market is ripe with opportunities and that investors have never had a more diverse group of stocks to choose from. He feels that the classic notion that small and mid-cap will eventually fizzle out is wrong, and that the Indian equity markets have matured enough to think long-term and move on from the boom and bust cycle. This week, Byju's faced a legal showdown with the Board of Control for Cricket in India over non-payment of dues. The National Company Law Tribunal has admitted BCCI's insolvency petition against Byju's, resulting in Byju Ravindran losing control of his company. Byju's will now be overseen by a bankruptcy resolution professional until the legal matter is closed. Other edtech companies like Unacademy and Vedantu are struggling too. Is this the end of edtechs as we know them? Manasi Verma answers. The union budget will be unveiled on Tuesday. Employment and jobs will be key focus areas for the government. Political experts pointed out the rising unemployment was one of the reasons that the BJP government could not secure a majority on its own in the Lok Sabha election. Our partners at howindialives.com examine a report by the Reserve Bank of India on the job situation in India. The controversial report has a lot of loopholes, which are fact-checked. RBI said that 46 million additional jobs were created between 2022 and 2024, which is a tall claim. Such optimistic interpretation of data might not serve the on-ground reality too well. There's been a sudden boom in equity trading, but that isn't restricted to just stocks and mutual funds. Investors are now dabbling in futures and options too. Different types of investments result in different kinds of tax compliance. Ahead of the ITR filing deadline of 31st July, Shipra Singh writes about how you need to report different kinds of investments to the taxman. Stock trading, intraday trading, and futures and options all have different regulations. Make sure to read this piece if you follow any of these trading methods. We'd love to hear your feedback on this podcast. Let us know by writing to us at feedback@theratelife.com. You may send us feedback, tips, or anything that you feel we should be covering from your vantage point in the world of business and finance. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. We are eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with fresh business news. Until then, have a great weekend.
Top of the Morning by Mint.